So hopefully you have a few minutes. Uh, I have quite a bit to go over with you here. I'm going to try to make it as short and sweet as I can, but bear with me. There's a few things I want to share with you before we go to the Word, um, and and prove all the more that it's not Israel. Everyone says Israel, right? Israel. It sounds like they're saying Israel, but actually, in reality, it's fake. It should be named is fake, not Israel. We're going to go to the Word, and I'm going to confirm everything we've been saying, and more things that you're going to want to hear. But before we do that, I just want to share a few things with you that I come across that you might want to see, that you might find interesting. If you're not from the set apart land, the real holy land, like I wasn't, like I had no idea what I was coming to, but I just want to share a few things with you about this place. That's a magpie you're looking at right there. I didn't know what that was when I first saw them. I called them orca birds, but they're evidently like the smartest bird there is, and they're amazing. And you see them all over the place. It's one of the many cool and fantastic things about this place. Besides the olive trees everywhere, cherry trees, apricots, mangoes, and just the variety of trees is just mind blowing, and I love it. And that's what I've been doing is trimming. I do tree trimming now, and I do like shrubbery work and stuff like that. No landscaping, but I've been like topping trees, dropping some trees that I can handle and stuff like that, and that's what I've became interested in highly, uh, as far as work goes. But there's so many different kinds of trees. Like I just can't believe it. Like the other day, I was working, and the neighbor to the place that I was doing the work for. The neighbor lady was out picking cherries off of the tree in her front yard, and the tree was massive, and I'm talking massive. It was taller than, like, where I'm from, Wisconsin and stuff. It was taller than the average tree, the taller trees where I'm from, and it was a cherry tree. It was okay. I'll tell you how tall it was. There was a two. She had a two-story house, and it was good 10 feet above the two-story house. And she told me that her sons, climb up on the roof and go up to the peak of a two-story house to pick the top cherries off of the tree. And it was massive in circumference too. It was huge. And I just couldn't believe it. And she let me come over and pick some. It was pretty cool, and they were amazing. And just everything about this place is just off the chain, for real. But I came across this article. I don't know if I mean, hopefully someone can put this to use. But if you think about where this land sits, as far as politics go, Seattle, Washington is in the northwest over there. You got Washington, Idaho's straight north of Utah, and then you got Oregon and Washington and California. I don't know about Oregon so much, but I know Washington is a left-leaning place usually, right? And just like you've heard about how like Seattle, downtown Seattle is off the chain. You've seen all that in the news like over the years, right? So, that wouldn't be a safe place to go to. And I'm not sure. I went to Idaho once and it seemed okay, but I'm not sure about that. But I know Cali, we all know about that place. That wouldn't be nowhere you would want to go when SHTF happens, right? No. And I don't know about New Mexico and Arizona, but I'm thinking maybe not so much. I wouldn't want to go down there. But this place, I keep coming across evidence of, just things to think about. And, you know, it's probably good to know if someone finds themselves uh, getting in the car and pulling it in too low and stomping on the gas to come home to the true set apart place. If you find yourself doing that, and I pray that you do, I just found a few things that you might find comforting and interesting, intriguing, to say the least. Wait till you see what I got. So, I think this came out today. Yeah, what's today? The 27th, right? Well, 27th. Yeah. So, Governor Cox, Spencer Cox, signs bill blocking Utah's compliance with new title, whatever, regulations. Utah Governor Spencer Cox signs the legislature the bills, excuse me, 6 bills the legislature passed during this week's special session, including a resolution that bans government officers from complying, you're going to want to hear this, from complying with that bill, the title, whatever, complying with a title, whatever, update that prohibits discrimination based on gender identity. Lawmakers voted along party lines Wednesday to approve 2 resolutions, those 2 bills, declaring they wouldn't allow or follow the federal directive that extends title, whatever, that's 5 or 6, I don't know Roman numerals, so. Follow the federal directive that extends those title protections to transgender students and would allow them to participate on sports teams and use bathrooms and facilities of the gender they identify with. So they put a stop to transgender people using the bathroom of their choosing, right? Just figured I'd throw that out there, and there's other stuff in here, but like I said, this place, I got to remind you, this place is ran primarily by Mormons. And I don't align with Mormons, but they do have more standards and morals and values, better values than the surrounding areas and the whole country. I've been saying this is the only place I've been. I've never been to Cali, but I can only imagine. And this is about the furthest west I've been, but I've been all out east, all up and down the eastern seaboard, and from New York, Pennsylvania, down to, and like up in Delaware and Rhode Island, and all the way down to Florida, and back to Texas, and back up to Minnesota, and Iowa and Nebraska, all out through there, been all out through there, and it's night and day difference. This is the only place I've ever been to where you could leave your doors unlocked if you wanted to. You know what I mean? There's a few parts, like down in Salt Lake and stuff, that I'm sure are sketchy, that appeared to be that way, and I've heard. But anywhere like in Provo, down there where Yerushalayim sat, in that whole pocket, yeah, you leave the windows down, and no joke, and it's unbelievable, and it's ran by people like that. They keep their shirts tucked in, and like I said, I don't align with them, but it's comforting. I must admit. But check this out. With that signature, Utah is putting into action the recently enacted Utah Constitutional Sovereignty Act, which allows the state to not comply with federal policies in cases lawmakers consider overreach. So there you go. So that's why that just confirms what I just said all the more. These guys, they it's not, they're not like any other state in the union, I assure you. There might be states like North Carolina, maybe, or Texas, where, yeah, there's Republicans maybe down there. And I'm not saying that that's what I am. I mean, that's primarily who I would align with as far as like the way I think about some things, like abortion and all that kind of stuff, the stuff we're talking about. But it's all Babylon. And I mean, this place is too, but it's not as bad as any place I've ever been. There's the population, I guarantee you, it's probably like 80%, 70% of the population are good little Mormons. And I'm not trying to sound like a jackass, but that's what it is. So when you come here, so you know what you're coming to. And they're all about like being organized and industrial and productive. It's the most productive, clean place I've ever been to, by far, by a long shot. And like I said, it's a night and day difference. But look, they're not going to go, like I've been saying, like kind of like the hints we're getting from that movie Civil War, and what the debate and all that stuff was about. It's all about the setup. It's all part of the setup to divide and conquer. I assure you. Y'all probably are well aware of that, I know. But I'm just hoping no one, it bugs me that there's so many people that just got hoodwinked tonight by watching that debate, thinking that it's not all just one big show. Steve Forbes come out a week ago, about a week and a half ago, and said that he knew that Biden was going to step down within a few weeks. And just out of nowhere, really. I mean, no, not out of nowhere, but like the way he said it, like it was like he was announcing it or something. You know what I mean? And as far as like the Biden administration was saying, that they were acting like they were going, they were going to keep her kicked. You know what I mean? They were going to drag his ass across the finish line, or try to, but it's all a big show. Because tonight, after the debate, that on CNN, that John King or whatever, the news guy, he was saying that he must have been looking at Twitter or something, and he was saying that that it was alarming all the Democrats, like the uproar amongst the Democrats about Biden's, about should he step down and step aside, right on cue, just like Steve Forbes was talking about. And don't be surprised if that's what happens. We've been knowing that. People's been talking about that happening. Like before Biden even got in office, we were saying these things, that this would possibly happen, or probably was going to happen. And that woman would step in, or now it's looking like maybe Gavin Newsom, they got him lined up. I don't know. But it's all a show. It's a freak show. And you know how I can tell you it's a freak show confidently? Because it ain't got nothing to do with Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, our wonderful Creator, our righteousness. That's how I can tell you that, with confidence. If it ain't got nothing to do with Him, you shouldn't have nothing to do with it. You shouldn't. You don't. Voting is the most moronic thing anyone could do right now. Your vote, like I've been saying, should be for the Most High only. But look, there's more. Like you can see, they just signed this Utah. I'm going to go into this. I just found this article, and I didn't even know about this Utah Constitutional Sovereignty Act. But I'm going to go look at it later and just read more into it. But it sounds good to me so far. I mean, it looks nice so far, right? And I know, like I said, these are all the governor and most of the senators and congressmen here in the state, and almost everyone, I assure you, are Mormon, are people who are trying to be good Christians, but they believe the way they do about things, right? So, and there's nowhere else that you could even tell me. There's nowhere in the world like that. There ain't nowhere in the world where the majority of the governing body and the population are all going to these LDS. They all go to church. And I'm like I said, I'm not promoting them. I'm not saying anything. I will tell you this, they're still off in Babylon because I see them celebrating all these holidays and they still use the name. They got the name of Jesus right on the front of their building. And they got these big steeples and stuff on these great big massive fancy, like, man, big ass temples. It looks like they spent billions of dollars making these things. They're huge. You can see them from all around. And like I said, I don't agree with nothing they do, really, except for they know this is the promised land. And however they come up with that idea, that's on them. I found this. I didn't even know that that's how these people were when I came here. And that's all documented. I got the receipts. Check them. And that's another thing that reminds me. I wanted to respond to some of you in the comments. I thank you guys for participating, for just putting your thoughts down. So, because if you hear this, if you're a rational person, like a person that can think critically, you're gonna have an opinion about this, and I welcome all opinions. But there was a guy in the comments that said I am deceived, right? And I don't know for sure. It's speculation on my part to say this, but I would go out on a limb and say he probably hasn't watched too many of my videos. And he would probably laugh at me even saying that, insinuating that he ought to. I don't know. But, I mean, he might have seen every one. I don't know. But if he only showed up to that video and he said I've been deceived without looking at none of this mountain, and I'm not exaggerating, mountain of evidence I've put forth right here, and that I still have, that we can discuss, that we can go over, that anyone who can critically think for themselves ought to examine before they place judgment on anything. That's called right ruling. That's what the Most High tells us to do all through His Word. We must rule rightly. If you're someone who's, you say you're a servant or a follower, or you might even be a shepherd, a pastor, I don't know. And more power to you if you're doing the right thing. All I'm saying is, if you're going to say someone's deceived, where's the receipts? Where's the fact? Where's the proof of that? And the only way you're ever going to know the facts is you're going to have to go through the evidence and examine it. You're going to have to hear me out. And it's all in the Word. And we're going to see it even more. But just since last summer, the Most High, we've seen the skirt lifted all the way up over the head of the image of the beast, of the whore of Babylon, the city of Babylon. We know who that is. We know that He told us all through the Word that there would be an imposter in the end that said, I am her, I sit as sovereignness, I don't know mourning or the loss of children, and I could go on and on. The crowning city, the abomination that lays waste, the house of the thief, the house of the wrong, and I could go on and on. So this bill, anyways, back to this bill. This January, Cox, the governor, quickly signed HB 257, which restricts transgender people from accessing bathrooms and locker rooms that match their gender identity, in government-owned facilities, and issued a one-line statement saying, we want public facilities that are safe and accommodating for everyone, yada yada yada. But and and they're talking about like girls sports, and like I said, I'm not advocating none of that. I'm just letting you know how these I'm displaying this article, sharing this with you just to let you give you a little more information on who these people are out here, this state, where you're coming to. And it's it's really isolated because it's the only one out. I mean, it's you got South Dakota and Montana are probably the next best things and the next best states as far as their uh, whether they are a blue or a red state, you know what I mean, just to sum it up, I guess. But this place is on its own. It's separated from the rest, I assure you. And you'll know when you get here. But it's all about that. It's and look at this part at the top. It says Utah will follow state law and not an unconstitutional rule, from unelected bureaucrats under the Biden administration. Administration, if I can get it out of my mouth. So, but and right here, there's other aspects of them bills, I guess, that's talking about the land. It says here at this middle paragraph, the governor also signed amendments to the Utah Code related to the participation of exchange students in the, no, that ain't what I was talking about. Yeah. Or what I was seeing, in the statewide online education program and other actions countering federal overreach on public lands. Yeah. Countering. And if you're not aware, most of the state is what they call BLM, Bureau of Land Management. It's like, I don't know if that's federal or state owned or what, but you can go out there and do whatever the heck you want. It's not like where I'm from, they had DNR land, public land where you could go hunt if you wanted to, but this is different. This is called BLM, and you can just go out there and do. I mean, I don't think you could go out there and build or whatever, but I've had people tell me, like, if you wanted to go drive your motorhome out just in the middle of wherever out there, then just go out there. Nobody's going to say nothing to you. They might just tell you to move spots or something every so often, like if you stay there too long. I've had people kind of say something along those lines, but let me get to the good article before we get to the word I want to share with you, in case this, something like this interests you. I know it interests me. Last year, they have here in the state of Utah this $25,000 treasure hunt, and it's pretty cool. Last year I was looking at it, me and my son, and I just kind of forgot about it, but I was intrigued. My intrigue was piqued there for a little bit. But they put clues out every week or something like that into the news. They put like a news article out with another clue telling you where the treasure is. And I think it was like a teenage girl last year found it. But they just put out the first clue, and if any of you might be interested, take a look at this with me and let me know your input. Maybe we can find this together, because y'all know I've been talking about before, it's been 6-8 months ago, we were reading and I said something along the lines of, if I told everyone who I'm trying to share this message with, if I told everyone that I had a suitcase full of hundreds sitting here at the foot of this mountain, 50 G's, would you come then? And I said, I bet people would come. Who would? There would be a lot of people that would show up, wouldn't there? But it exceeds that. What you're coming to, what you're stepping into, my friend, it's all the riches. The Most High owns all of it. Just think. Just think of all the gold. And I mean, if you were to think about that, but that's not what this is about. This ain't about our possessions. We know that. What we come here to possess is our inheritance, our land, our life and peace and rest, our Shabbat. But I mean, I would have no problem taking this 25,000 if I could find this treasure, because it's cool. Check it out. So this is the first clue. Organizers of viral $25,000 Utah treasure hunt unveil first clues of 2024. And this is the first one. They haven't put the second one out yet, so you know. And like I said, hopefully some of you, whoever, wants to help me do this, because this is the first clue. It's a poem written in Spanish, and I don't have Google Translate, and I would probably have a splitting a headache just trying to figure all that out, but maybe not. But if you can get this translated, this is the first clue. It's a poem written in Spanish. Check it out. That's what it reads right there. Take some snapshots if you want, but check this one part out here, what they say about it. Oh no, excuse me. They got it here. Let's read it. What do you know? When I took the pictures earlier, I didn't think they put the translation on here. My bad. If you suffer pain that is cured with gold, what a coinky dink. See? You see how this goes? I honestly what happened just now is what happened. I didn't know that they put this on here, and I promise you, I looked at it, and I was just going to tell one of you guys if you could, or just mention it to you guys, and maybe one of you guys could get it translated. I honestly had no idea. But let's see what it says. If you suffer pain that is cured with gold, find the shortcut where the choir sings. That's right on message, isn't it? Hallelujah. Yahuwah. Find the place it is named after. Turn around and follow the shadow. Where do you learn to smell ice cream? Turn around and follow the shadow. Where do you learn to smell ice cream? Or did we eat lobsters in the past? That's right on cue. I did. I used to love those things and crab legs and stuff, but I don't lather my lips with that stuff no more. Heck no. Or when you look at the sunrise again, go straight. You can do it. Look at the numbers like you're a crow. Well, that might be. If it's telling you to go straight east, it's definitely wrong. It's more of this propaganda. But these clues, what these clues are about is they'll help you find out. This is it's a treasure map is what this is, just like the word. So yeah, it could be telling you to go east, because what this is telling you, the treasure's right here in the Salt Lake Valley, Provo Valley area. There is like a cache, whatever they call those, like these kids nowadays, they play those games where they hide things and people online on their phone find out where they are, whatever it's called, those treasure hunt things. That's what this is, and you can find it. So you can go east, yeah. My bad. I was mistaken. So yeah, so far everything's right on schedule, on message. Go straight, you can do it. Look at the numbers like you're a crow, whatever that means. The age when he arrived is what I observe. That's right on schedule, huh? Now you're close. One last clue. Move to the place with the best view. Boom. Hallelujah. Now, but look down here at this bottom, what they say about that. I read this, but I honestly I'm not kidding you guys. I never even seen that. I didn't even know this. I would have just read it to you. And I mean, I didn't know it was there. And that's what that is right there, is just more evidence of that I am an epic dumbass. So don't get that twisted. I've never admitted or I've never once proclaimed to be anything other than a dumbass. so yeah, that's the kind of thing I do. But look what it says down here. It says some Instagram commenters have said "sigue derecho" means stay right. But others pointed out that the Spanish word for right, the direction, is derecho, not derecho. So it means stay right or right, one of the two. Go right. Well, everything that said right there is the message basically. But yeah, this good news of the rain, I found it because I've been hungry and thirsty. It's not because I'm an educated man. Obviously, I'm not. I got a GED and I've swung a hammer and laid blacktop my whole life, and now I'm lumberjacking it up. I'm a blue collar kind of guy. I found this because I was hungry and thirsty, and that's what it takes. And the treasure that's in this word, that treasure we just read about, it ain't got nothing on what we're about to read about. And before anyone concludes that this is wrong, you can't come to a conclusion unless you've examined the evidence. If you turn a blind eye to the evidence, then there is no investigation. There's an agenda. That's it. And any agenda that doesn't involve right ruling, if it isn't a conquest for truth and righteousness, then it's no kind of conquest or investigation that any of us needs to take part in. I'm not telling anyone to not or to agree. I'm not insinuating or insisting that anyone needs to believe. Just take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Like I always say, check the facts. I'm lucky, doing good just to get this out, but I understand that it's my duty. I feel it's not even a matter of me feeling obligated. I feel way behind in all of this, and so it's there's nothing else to do. I have to do this. And once you read what I'm about to read to you and you see, you'll understand all the more. All this word's saying the same thing. This is all about a family, right? About us being children of the mighty Most High. So his children, they follow the Most High Spirit of truth. That's why in Revelations, at the end, it says, the Spirit and the bride say, come. That's why it says that. The Spirit of the Most High, the Spirit of truth, which is the Lamb, the Most High, he has a home, a place where he placed his name, and his children come in and come out. They engage in a lovingly committed relationship with him. 100%. And the bride is Yerushalayim, the renewed Yerushalayim. It's not going to float down out of the sky. See, that's That's how the word proves you. That's how the word judges you. These are riddles, especially revelations. And it's not literally coming down out of the sky, but the information that you gain when you realize what it really means is it's monumental. It's everything, and it's a must. It's a necessity. You have to understand why it says that it comes down out of the heavens, and it's not. I assure you, I can prove to you beyond the shadow of a doubt that he's not talking about the sky. He's talking about the word, the truth that comes forth from the mouth of the Most High, that's in his word. It comes from there, from the truth. Watch. Thus said Yahuwah, guard right ruling and do righteousness, for near is my deliverance to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. To be revealed. Blessed is the man who does this. Does what? Guards right ruling. And look, I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter who any of us are. Right rule. If someone tells me something and I say you're lying, when I don't have a clue, it just don't sound believable to me. It sounds crazy, but I haven't looked at what he's talking about. I haven't seen all the evidence. I haven't looked or done a thorough investigation into said matter. That's not right ruling. That's an agenda. That is making false assumptions. And I'm all about getting it right. So I'm not telling you not to come and challenge this message or to take my word for it. I encourage you strongly to come and challenge it, put it to the test, and you're going to see. I pray that you do. So we must guard right ruling. We must use understanding. We must not put doubt the Most High and put limitations on him and think that these things couldn't be sealed in this word from us all this time, and that in the end it would be revealed, that we would understand this word in the latter days. We can't be prideful to think that there's nothing that could have got past us. We've all been victimized by the image of the beast, by the man of lawlessness, all that. But now it's all, like I said, it's all about the choices we make. You must make the choice to come out of Babylon. You must. And the Most High, this is how you can know for a fact that the rapture is absurd. The Most High is not in the business of abduction. He's not going to snatch your ass up and bring you to his house if you think it's a joke right now, if we can't even talk about it right now, if it's absurd to you to even think that you might have to go to his house. If that's how you feel, what makes you think he's going to snatch you up out of your living room someday while you're sitting on your couch watching NCIS on the television screen? If that's the time of the rapture and you're sitting there watching your favorite television show, or maybe you don't watch TV, maybe you're out in the garden, I don't know. But he's going to come abduct you in the middle of the day or middle of the night or something, when where he's taking you was a joke to you and you thought it was deception for someone to believe that he ought to want to go to that house that he plans on getting. The word rapture, it is correct. We went over that. We broke it down. It's their idea of rapture is what the world has misinterpreted. Rapture means for someone to become head over heels for something and they just vanish in the twinkling of an eye. Not magically like Twinkle Toes. No. But one year it was, they know you and everything. And then the next, you're gone and you're back to your dad's house and they can't figure it out. It leaves them scratching their head and they're just like, what the heck happened? And they got all kinds of negative stuff to say about it, no doubt. That's going to happen. If you ain't going against the grain, that I can tell you that right now with confidence too, that if you're going with the grain, with the believers, with those who are going to say, Lord, Lord, didn't we do this and do that? And he's going to say, get away from me, I never knew you. If you're going with the grain of those individuals, well, that, the outcome for them, that attitude. You can't have that attitude. You have to have an all-in type of attitude. So notice what he's getting at here, though. Blessed is the man who does this, and the Son of Man who becomes strong in it, strong in right ruling. And man, it's the only strength. If you don't rule rightly, you got no strength, no backbone, no foundation. If you don't look at a situation or whatever you're dealing with, whatever question you come across, if you don't rightly rule that situation, guess what? You got it wrong. You did it wrong. Which the strong, it's the opposite of being strong. So the man who rules rightly becomes strong in it. And what is that he's getting at? Guarding the Sabbath, lest he profane it, and guarding his hand from doing any evil. See, most Christians, most of the believers in the world, they laugh at the Sabbath, at the Shabbat, at keeping the Shabbat, the rest. It's a joke to them. Isn't that odd? That all through the Word, the Most High tells us, why it's right to keep the Shabbat, why it is right, it's using right ruling. When you take your rest, and you have to always remember that Shabbat's more than just the seventh day rest. It's the seventh year. It's the Jubilee. It's all that. And it's our inheritance. It's our land. It's our inheritance. It's our life. Peace. The goal. Where the world thinks they're going to be abducted to and taken to, prisoner, someday in the rapture. But that's all. The Sabbath, it includes all of what I just mentioned, and maybe more that I failed to mention. So he's adamant about it, and if you use right ruling to judge that situation, to determine whether or not keeping the Shabbat, like the Most High tells you to do in his instructions, is the right thing to do. If you look at it honestly, you'll see that it's the right thing to do. And that everything, most of this chaos that we're dealing with out here in the world today stems from the failure to do so with everything. And just imagine the production, the wealth, if you will, of a world where everyone observes Shabbat, the Most High's instructions. The seventh year, we don't till the land. We let it rest. All those good and wholesome, beautiful things. The Jubilee, you can't work a hired man no more than 7 weeks of years, right? So 42 years. You can work a hired man for 42 years. After that, he must be treated just like anyone else. And he must be treated with respect at all times. That's right ruling. He shouldn't. No one looks down their nose at anyone at any time. That's right ruling. So all these things, and the Messiah, he didn't come to tell you that you don't have to do those things anymore. To the contrary, it's what it's all about. He loved doing the desire of his Father, our Father. And we all ought to, right? And let not the son of the foreigner who has joined himself to Yahuwah speak, saying, Yahuwah has certainly separated me from his people, nor let the eunuch say, look, I am a dry tree. Now, here's one key golden nugget that we're going to be able to put in our tool belt here. I know, like eunuch, I don't know, I could totally be wrong. I'm epic, don't forget. I always thought that a eunuch was someone who had their you-know-what's removed, right? And they can no longer procreate. And I think that's what most people say a eunuch is, right? Well, as far as chapter 14 of Revelations, where it talks about the 144,000, when it says they are maidens, it don't use the word eunuchs. It says maidens. And a maiden is someone who ain't married to nobody or nothing. They're engaged to the truth, to the Messiah, to the Most High, the Word, all this. So most people probably read this, and when they see eunuch, it says, nor let the eunuch say, look, I am a dry tree. They think, probably like I always have, that it was talking about someone who had their whatever removed as, a devotion, a display of devotion to the Most High or whatever. And I've always said that there ain't no way that could be. There's no way the Most High would want you to do that. No. So when I looked at these comparisons down here, I seen this one right here, and I know that this must be what he's talking about. And I don't, like I said, I don't even know what this translation is, but check this one out here, this CEV one. It says, and Yahuwah won't let us be part of his, wait, let me read the whole thing. Foreigners who worship me must not say, Yahuwah won't let us be part of his people. Men who are unable to become fathers must no longer say, we are dried up trees. And the reason I know that that's what he's talking about, he's talking about like Sarah and Abraham did. He's not talking about people who castrate themselves. He's talking about, and he tells us that goes along with the word, because he tells us that people will give, have children and into their ripe old age and all this kind of stuff. So that's what he's talking about. He ain't talking about dismemberment. So, and that's just more proof that the Most High, he don't doubt what he can do. Don't put no limitations on his capabilities. For thus said Yahuwah to the eunuchs, to those dry trees who say they are dry trees, who guard my Shabbats, Sabbaths, and have chosen what pleases me, and are holding on to my covenant. We've went over the covenant so many times. You should know what the covenant is. He's promised us, to our fathers, to give us a land flowing with milk and honey, not a figment of our imagination up in the clouds that involves kidnapping. No. I'm talking about reality. The Most High is telling you about reality. If you want, you have, the only way to be in the covenant is you have to be in the covenant. You have to come and take this land. But what's most people doing? They're laughing about it. It's a joke to them. They don't believe in this covenant. They don't believe in the power of the Most High. They don't believe in his righteousness. They don't believe that he's capable of accomplishing all his word that he spoke to accomplish. All the things that he accomplished, sent it to accomplish. They don't believe that it's possible. Where do you think those people are going to? What's their expectation? Those who just continue to doubt. It's not the kingdom, I assure you. You must pick up your stake. To them I shall give in my house and within my walls a place and a name better than that of sons and daughters. I gave them an everlasting name that is not cut off. Who wants to turn that down? Not me. Not this guy. Also the sons of the foreigner who joins themselves to Yahuwah to serve him and to love the name of Yahuwah, to be his servants. All who guard the Shabbat. That's how you know. That's why that's the seal. Because if it just comes down to like people on the outside who don't know the children of the Most High or the Most High, how they can tell who his children are, they sit down, they observe the Shabbats, seventh year, seventh day, all that stuff. And they come in, they have the feast days. They are engaged in this covenant. And not profane it. Not profane it. And are holding on to my covenant. Them I shall bring to my set apart mountain. So if you're having a hard time understanding this message, that could be the reason. If you're not observing his Shabbat, he just told you. And this ain't the only place in the word where he says that. He lets you know over and over again that the people who don't observe the Shabbats or don't hold on to the covenant, if they don't care about Yerushalayim and feast days and all that, they're blind and drunk. They ain't got a clue of what's going on. They're disconnected completely with the reality of this word, of the truth. But those who guard the Shabbat, who fear the Most High, who love him, who are sickened by the fact that people walk around blaspheming his name and his son and his tent and his word and his Shabbat, everything about him. It's sickening. Those people, he's going to bring them to his set apart mountain and let them rejoice in my house of prayer. Their ascending offerings and their slaughterings are accepted on my slaughter place. Now, remember, he's not talking about animal sacrifice. He's done told us several times. He's talking about the sacrifice of your lips, of your feet, of your heart, of offerings of thanksgiving and praise and esteem. Love. That's what he's talking about. For my house is called a house of prayer for all the peoples. All the peoples. All the nations. Whoever wants to come. He's told us this. It's not going to be a place where all kinds of gods are being worshipped and all that nonsense. All that adultery. All that hate. That's hate. That ain't love. That's not respect. That's not esteem. That's hoeing 101. That's what that is. And that's not going to go down in the kingdom. No unclean thing is going to pass through those gates, those pearly gates. And no, they're not literally made out of pearl, because it says it's a single pearl, each gate. That's a great pearl of truth, and it takes work to find these great pearls. And you got to roll your sleeves up and strap on your Berean boots. You have to, or you ain't going to get it. You ain't going to, if you ain't in the Aleph and the Taw, you ain't getting this deliverance. Bottom line. So whoever wants to come, all it takes is thirst and hunger, humility, fear, love, respect, esteem, devotion, loyalty, all those nice things. The Master Yahuwah, who gathers the outcast of Yasharal, declares, I gather still others to him besides those who are gathered to him. All you beasts of the field, come to devour. All you beasts in the forest. What's he talking about? His watchmen are blind. There's the duality is all through here, all through the word, the Most High, especially in the prophets. You have to understand that there's two cities, he tells us in the end. There's one says that she's the one, and it's a lie, and then the one, the true one, would come and be revealed to us, and we would return and be gathered back to it, to that set apart mountain. That's why, look, it says, all you beasts, because he went on to say, he's going to gather all the outcasts, it's a house of prayer for all the peoples, just come, whoever thirsts. And then he says, all you beasts of the field, come to devour. All you beast, keyword beast, in the forest. And they use those words, the field and the forest. Those are code words to let you know about the image of the beast, that they are hidden, that the true land was hidden by the forest, and like the house of the wrongs called the kingdom of the forest and stuff, where it's trickery, it's the thorn and the thistle, all that kind of stuff. And the field, because the field represents, just like you would say at work, like out in the field, right? But it's the word, like us people who are supposed to be watchmen, people speaking the word, the assemblies out here in the field, the beast of the field and the beast of the forest, the hiding. His watchmen are blind, all of them. They have not known. All of them are dumb dogs. You see the duality? You see, he switched and started to describe the opposite. And it's that way all through the word. It's all about two cities. Unable to bark, dreaming, lying down, loving to slumber. Wink, wink. Laughing about actually having to come home. And the dogs have a strong appetite. They never have enough. And they are shepherds. They have not known understanding. All of them look to their own way, everyone for his own gain, from his own end, saying, come, let me bring wine and fill ourselves with strong drink, and tomorrow shall be as today, even much greater. Now, that's the same people, basically, and more, who are going to say, Lord, Lord, and all the other people who deny it altogether. But this is how this riddle, it causes those people who really don't care about this to go the wrong way. All these people who are fronting, it causes them to just go, but at the same time, those who want to go the right way, it veers them the right way. Because most people read that last verse right there where it says, come, let me bring wine and fill ourselves with strong drink. The Christians, the world of believers, they think that's talking about alcohol, and it ain't. It's not talking, that's how they go wrong. So when they see that, they probably ain't touched a beer in 50 years, and they probably talk about anyone who does drink a beer or whatever. So as soon as they see where he says that, they say, well, that's not me, so I ain't got to worry about it. But no, the wine And the strong drink is these lies. It's the twisting of the Most High's word. It's things like rapture, once saved, always saved, covered by the blood when they don't even know what that means. And they laugh about going home. They think they can just stay wherever they want and never have to move their body. They don't have to love the Most High or respect Him. They can call Him whatever they want. That's the strong drink. That's what Christians are doing. They say, come, let us just do what we're doing. Tomorrow shall be just as today, even much greater. We ain't got to worry about tomorrow. Ain't nothing going to happen. But they have not known understanding. The righteous one has perished. And no one takes it to heart. Takes what to heart? And committed men are taken away, while no one understands that the righteous one is taken away from the presence of evil. And it's not just, you can't lay down with the dogs and not get up with the fleas. It's not just you being a good Christian, and because that's just more Babylon, more wickedness. That's the presence of evil. You have to physically and mentally, spiritually, everything. You have to leave the presence of evil. He enters into peace. They who walk in integrity rest on their beds, not at night. At night, but the beds is another code word, just like the Messiah used. He used the field and the bed. When he was talking about two, where the people go wrong with the rapture, he says, two will be in the field, one taken, one left. Two on the bed, one taken, one left. Two women. That's two cities. That's what the Messiah was talking about. I assure you, I've already confirmed it several times. Come on back, we'll do it again. Anytime. But come here, you sons of the sorceress. And your bed is Jerusalem, your home, your inheritance, all that. The house of the mighty Most High. But come here, you sons of the sorceress. See? The sorceress. You offspring of the adulterer and the hoe. And that's the majority of believers right now. If not, a lot. Most. And me, I'm an offspring of the hoe. I had to come here and come out of all that. I came from Babylon. And I'm not saying that I've come out, I don't use dollar bills anymore, and I'm not in the system, quote unquote. I'm not talking about all that. I'm talking about understanding that we've been lied to about the Holy Land, and it's right here. You can come to it, and that's what this end looks like. That's how it's going down. And you must go all in to do it. That's checking out of Babylon. If I have to give $10 for a sandwich, to eat, that's not me still being in Babylon. Yeah, it's going to probably go away. Yes, it is. But I'm talking about coming out of the lie, the snare of Babylon. All the holidays, all the names, and the house, the throne of Satan, the congregation of Satan, those who say they are Yahudim but lie, all that with that maggot on top. We got to come out of it. Against whom are you sporting? And against whom do you make a wide mouth and stick out the tongue? Are you not children of transgression, offspring of falsehood? Of falsehood. Christianity is falsehood. It's got truth in there, but what would you call something? Would you call it a true place of truth, institution of truth, or of falsehood if a little bit of the truth is told, but a whole lot of misdirection and leading astray is produced out of an institution? If a whole lot of misdirection and deception and lies and falsehoods are promoted with a little bit of truth, would you say that that place is a good a place promoting truth? You wouldn't, would you? No. You can throw the baby out with the bathwater on that. You can't uh, expect to rule rightly if we're misled on what we're ruling over. Being inflamed, offspring of falsehood, being inflamed with mighty ones under every green tree. That matches up perfectly, doesn't it, with Christianity. And you can say Judaism and what they do over there. They might not celebrate Christmas, but that's where it came from. That's what it's. There are people there celebrating it in that land. I mean, that's why Christmas exists, is because of that, of Babylon. So, yeah. Slaying the children in the valleys under the clefts of the rocks. And, maybe people do that literally, and I'm sure they have, and I'm sure they probably do. But if you rear up your children in all this falsehood, that's what you're doing to them. Among the smooth stones of the stream is your portion. I love this verse. Verse 6. Among the smooth stones of the stream is all these people who love and do falsehood's portion. Do you know what that means? Them sling stones. The Most High said, we'll trample on sling stones. We're taking the biggest giant out that ever existed. It's a mountain. Get it? Tell that mountain, be thy removed and cast into the sea. Go look it up. That star on their flag. As I was learning, I learned that was a mountain looking in the mirror at itself. As a matter of fact, let me show you what I'm talking about. This is a perfect depiction of what I'm talking about. This is in Tel Aviv. That's what that flag is. The only reason it don't look like that on their flag, that it's combined, is just because of space, and they know what it means. It means that. It means an upside down mountain looking at itself in the mirror. It's the yin and the yang. It's light and dark, good and evil. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That's what that all represents. Up and down. As above, so below. Just like the Baphomet, that's what that star is. That star represents the same thing the Baphomet represents. Yes, it does. Confirmed it lots of times. But like I said, we can go back through it. I can show you how they use all that in their magic spells and all that. That's what it's all about. It's called a hexagram for a reason. And a sexagram in Latin. Because it's up and down, male and female. It's opposite. It's not what the Most High wants you to do. You're not God. So, among smooth stones of the stream is your portion. The image of the beast that we've been reading about right here, you just seen it. The whore, how she's going down is Davids are going to have to take her out boldly, confidently, against all odds. In the face of the most harshest of opposition. You're going to have to do this if you want to live. And if you're on the other end of those sling stones, you're going to die. They are your lot twice. That's a wink, wink. All this is packed with so much vital information. And it's all necessary, every bit of it. There's a reason he said it twice, I assure you. Also, to them you have poured a drink offering. You have offered a grain offering. Am I comforted in these? What's he talking about? He ain't just using those words just lightly. Drink offering. Passover. Grain offering. All of the money that you put in those offering plates every Sunday or Saturday. The offering is to them green trees. And the mighty ones. To the mighty ones. To them, the foreigners, sons of the foreigners, that are on that wall in Ezekiel, that are inscribed in red. I really need to organize all my videos and make playlists and stuff so it's easier for everyone to get to, but we've went through all that, and we can do it again. We're gonna do it again, I know. So, but what more importantly, everyone who hears this, you need to be Berean style. You need to have your nose in this word with me. We need to be reading it every day, all day, as often as we can anyway. On a high and lofty mountain you have set your bed. There too you went up to slaughter a slaughtering. Right there, that's not literal. What they've done, they've set their throne, just like the Most High told us the enemy would do, what he wanted to do. He wanted to reign. He wanted to sit on the mercy seat. It's all about the throne. This is a game of thrones. Also, behind the doors and their post, you have set up your remembrance. For you have departed from me and have gone up to them. You have made your bed wide and made a covenant with them. Who else has the world made a covenant with? These believers that we're reading about. Those people who are going to be standing there saying, Lord, Lord, didn't we cast out demons and heal people in your name? And the Messiah is going to say, get away from me. I don't know you. The door is going to be shut when they're pounding on it. Those type of people. That's who we're reading about. Who have they made a covenant with two groups of people? Two? No, they've only made a covenant with one, and that's the image of the beast, the abomination that lays waste. And what you're witnessing right here on this channel is the set apart place being made right, spoken of in Daniel. And I'm just one part of it. What we're reading is what it's about. The truth that the Most High is His word is accomplishing what He set out for it to do. But the rest of the world, they've pledged their allegiance. They've made a covenant, a pact, an oath to support the image of the beast or the man of lawlessness or Babylon in some way. If you don't show up and have the seal of the Most High on your forehead and guard his Shabbats, you've made a covenant with someone else. Bottom line. And you went to the sovereign with ointment and increased your perfumes, and you sent your messengers far off and lowered yourselves even to Sheol. You have wearied yourselves with your many wanderings, yet you did not say, I give up. You have found the life of your hand, therefore you were not grieved. That's every Christian basically right now. They're all saying, I don't have to go anywhere. I got this house. I built this house, or I bought this house. I got a job. I'm married. Whatever they're doing. They found the life of their hand. So they're fine. They're good. They think they're going to get sucked up one night when they're on their recliner watching that 70s show. But in reality, they wouldn't like that very much, would they? They don't want to be, who wants to be kidnapped when you're just sitting there? It's not going to happen, my guys. You best get that thought out of your head. If you don't care about your home, the Most High's not going to make you come to it. And the only way to get you to it is you must want to come to it. You're going to have to come. Bottom line. And of whom have you been afraid or feared, that you have lied and not remembered me, nor taken it to your heart? Have I not been silent even from of old, and you have not feared me? Let me declare your righteousness and your works, for they do not profit you. He's going to declare it. Your righteousness. These people who laugh at this, who thinks this is a joke. People we're reading about. When you cry out, let your collection of idols deliver you. That's your righteousness. Everything you've banked on, that you've bet the house on, that rug, it's getting pulled out from under you. If you don't turn to the right and come home, care about your home. But the wind shall bear them all away, and a breath take them. But he who takes refuge in me shall inherit the land and possess my set apart mountain. That's what everyone's disagreeing with right now. Everyone who laughs at what I've been saying and mocks me, you're mocking that right there. That's what you're mocking. That's what you're protesting. And who is it again that you serve and you fear? One shall say, heap it up, prepare the way, take the stumbling block out of the way of my people. The stumbling block. For thus declares the high and exalted one, who dwells forever, whose name is set apart. I dwell in the high and set apart place with him who has a bruised and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble and to revive the heart of bruised ones. Maidens, those engaged in a lovingly committed relationship, entering into a marriage. They're not married to no one else. They're going to be outcast, bruised, brokenhearted, lonely, poor and needy, the mocked, the scoffed, the laughed at. All those things. For I would not strive forever, nor am I wroth forever, for the spirit would grow faint before me, even the beings I have made. The spirit and the bride say, come. Coming in and out, all that stuff. Right ruling. For the crookedness of his unfair gain, I was wroth, and I struck him. Who's he talking about here, guys? For the crookedness of his unfair gain, I was wroth, and I struck him. I hid myself and was wroth. He went on backsliding in the way of his heart. I have seen his ways, but now I heal him. The bruised. He's not talking about Messiah. He's talking about those coming right now. And I lead him and restore comforts to him and to his mourners, creating the fruit of the lips. Peace to him who is far off and to him who is near, said Yahuwah, and I shall heal him. Restore comforts to him and to his mourners. To who? To the one he struck because of his crookedness and his unfair gain. Who's he talking about? And he led him and he healed him, creating the fruit of the lips. What's the fruit of the lips? Peace. Peace to him who is far off and to him who is near. That doesn't mean that you're going to find your peace if you stay out there. No, the fruit of the lips. I'm declaring this peace out to you, whoever is far off and to whoever is near. Come to the land, to the set apart mountain. And, those who don't want to put in the work. They don't have an argument. They just like to call names and mock and make fun of people and stuff. They're not going to really read. They don't know. They're not going to. They're going to dismiss everything we said off of that last verse right there. They're going to use that to their own demise. They're going to say, see, to him who was far off, I can stay right here. That's what they're going to say. But that's not what he was saying. Not at all. He just told us back up here he's going to bring those who will live to his set apart mountain. We just read it. And I shall heal him. But the wrong are like the troubled sea, for it is unable to rest, and its waters cast up mud and dirt. There is no peace, said my mighty Most High, for the wrong. The wrong. Those who get it wrong.